Sacramento police responding to a call about a man who's allegedly threatened to kill someone with a hatchet along I-80 near Norwood. Police say when they got there, he threw a large rock at them and ran.
Our suspect running from us. He's in the alleyways running towards Norwood.
I got this.
He just threw a rock at me and he hit me with it.
No, I shoot your dog.
This time, police responding to reports of a man refusing to leave the Safeway property in Midtown. They end up in a controversial standoff with that man and his dog.
Hey, knock it off. Hey, hey.
And look at that, a man sneaks into the Golden One Center as crews are out washing the windows. There you see him dancing on the court. Pretty soon, security guards are running after him in what eventually becomes a death investigation. Here's how the 911 call came in.
We have a transient at the Golden One Center. We called earlier for the police, but he has hit his head and we need paramedics as well.
I didn't understand anything about mental health. I was fearful at times. I was sad and crushed.
Christine McDaniel says any of those cases could have easily been her 24-year-old son, now diagnosed with schizophrenia.
And really, my son was in fear. And I kicked him out like that. Not knowing, I kicked him out in the streets, and he was with homeless people.
Christine watched every one of those reports, all happening in just the last year, all involving members of the homeless community, each of them apparently facing a mental health emergency similar to her son's experiences.
I have 5 boys, and with all my boys, it tore us all apart. Every single one of my boys tried to help my son individually, and I tried to help my son individually, and none of us could do it.
That's her son Eric there with the long hair in happier times with his father.
And I, as a mother, had to call the police on my own child, which is one of the hugest things that you don't do. You don't want to work with the police department. Sometimes you don't want to do that, but I'm telling you, it saved my son's life.
More specifically, Christine credits Officer Dan Bean and the Mental Health Police Unit that is now just over a year old. Their commander?
Right now we're actually under the leadership of a licensed clinical social worker, which is something that no other police department that I know of is really doing. Some agencies that say, you know, it's kind of weird that you guys are doing that. You know, cops should be cops and social workers should be social workers.
Was this done in response to anything in particular?
Absolutely. Mental health calls are on the rise.
Calls they cannot ignore. Look at the numbers. Mental health related calls for service have increased from about 10,000 in 2016 to close to 12,500 calls in 2019.
So our officers are dealing with that no matter if they want to or not. At least in this unit, we get to specialize and we get to be good at it.
It seems like a fairly innovative idea.
It's pretty innovative. Sometimes, you know, I'm picking somebody up and taking them to the pharmacy and helping them get their meds and standing in line with them and just making sure that they have somebody there to support them.
Christine tells me it's that kind of personalized approach that has meant the most to her family.
You know, Dan following up, you know, every month, how's everything going?
You know, sometimes, unfortunately, we are going out and making an arrest because that's the intervention where we can involve the criminal justice system and hopefully put some court-mandated or court-guided treatment on.
And so we'll hit the streets with Officer Bean, getting a first-hand look at the calls they encounter on a nightly basis.
Is this the person you're having trouble with?
No, it's not.
Hey!
And we'll check in on Eric.